Hello, my name is Brian White. I'm the offensive line coach at Hampton University in Hampton, Virginia. It's a pleasure to be on today. I spent a lot of time of my career in the Midwest. Was a graduate assistant at Notre Dame, at Cincinnati, and at Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology, where I recruited Southwest Ohio for 7 years. Got here to Hampton in 2018, and happy to share some pass pro fundamentals with you today. So here we go with pass blocking fundamentals. Now, there's 5 parts of every pass block, and the drills we'll show you today, each one of them will go over one of these different phases. Early on in training camp, during spring ball, and in the off season, we'll break down each one of these components and drill them separately. As we get into the year and gain some skill with it, we'll be doing drills that will combine one or more parts of these, ultimately leading up into one-on-one pass rush and team pass drills, which combine all 5. But the 5 parts of every pass block, there's some type of set. And your offensive linemen need to know the protection scheme and the quarterback's launch point to know what type of set they need to take. For today's purposes, we'll be talking mainly about drop back pass protection and the different components involved there. After the set, there's going to be a strike. And again, the surface you use to strike will be determined on the scheme of the protection, but then also the surface that the defender is giving you. After you place the strike on the defender, there's going to be some type of mirror phase where you need to stay in front of him as he works his rush lane. After that, there'll be a recovery phase, meaning the defender is going to try something. Might be bull pull, which we'll feature today, but he's going to try something to shed the block and get to the quarterback. You'll need to recover, the term I use, from that move, fighting his pressure with your pressure. And then after that, there'll be a finish, just like there is on every play, every block, there's a finish phase to it. Now, before we get into those 5 components, first thing we have to talk about is the stance, because every great pass block starts with a great stance. When we talk about stance, we build it from the ground up. So we want to make sure all the cleats of the offensive linemen are in the ground. Don't want air underneath the outside heel, which I see a lot. We want to make sure that the ankle is flexed and into the ground so that if you've got the screw-ins, all 11 cleats are in the ground. Our outside toe will be turned out just slightly so that we can help get that whole foot on the ground. Now, as you turn the outside toe out a little bit, that outside hip might want to go with it. So we got to make sure on the offensive lineman that their hips and also their shoulders are squared to the line of scrimmage. Working up from the feet, we'll talk about the knees. We want to have bend in the knees, and we want the knees to be inside of the ankle so that there's no wasted movement. As we push off of our inside foot, if we're setting to the outside, that we're not having to open up our knee, close our knee to be able to move out there. And so again, knees have to maintain inside of the ankles. Our hips will be pushed backwards to lower ourselves to the ground. And as we push our hips back, we want to take our spine through our belly button, keeping it straight, flat back, chest up. Again, shoulders square, eyes up. So every great pass block is going to start with a great stance. And now, based on who you're working with, the stance might vary a little bit. Those things I went over are the non-negotiables. Those things in your stance, I believe to be are true and have to be that way. Things that can vary, the width of your stance can vary. Based on your height, your feet usually start about shoulder width apart. Taller guys might be a little bit wider than shoulder width. But play around with that to see where your offensive linemen need to be so that they can be explosive out of their stance in the set. The other part that's negotiable is the stagger. If you're a center, you have very little stagger in your feet. Guards might be toe to instep. Tackles might be toe to heel, or if you have a taller tackle, even a little bit deeper. Toe could even be behind the heel. That's for guys who are 6'5", 6'6", 6'7" plus. And here at Hampton, we've had great old linemen at 6'2". We've had great old linemen at 6'7". So we're constantly working with, at a adaptations to the stance to make sure guys are in a place, again, where they can be explosive coming out of it. So now we're going to talk about sets. Now, when we set, we want to set down the middle of the defender, meaning that we're going to put our outside knee down the defender's midline. And I'm big on visuals when we're drilling this. And this drill video is from winter workouts. Much like you guys, we didn't have a chance this spring to work with our guys. So everything you see here is from our winter conditioning phase. So I always like giving them a visual, whether it's a line, a cone, a towel, another person, just something, always so that they can feel, okay, this is where I need to put that knee, so that my knee is down the middle of the defender. So here's a right guard, right tackle, working a defender who's just a little bit outside his body. So we need to kick on the angle to get the knee down the middle of the man. So again, we want to be in a good stance, weight loaded on the instep of the foot opposite the direction we're going, so that we can drive off of that foot. Because really, the explosion of the set comes from driving off the foot opposite of where you're going. So we want to go one kick, one drag, knee down the middle of the man, keep that bend in our knees, keeping our hips pushed back so that we're in good position to strike. Elbow staying connected to the rib cage, the shoulder of the direction we're kicking is slightly up so that we can keep the weight down the middle of our body. So again, we want to get to this position and just freeze our guys, making sure, again, that knee is down the middle of the defender. And I'm a big believer in we will cross-train our guys. We want to play the best 5 offensive linemen we have. So we're always working both sides, sets from both sides, run blocks from both sides, just so guys are comfortable with it. Now, as we get closer to the season, we'll do that less and less and start to get locked in on where guys are. But in our off season, in our training camp, we want to develop skills from both sides. So I like just flipping guys around and working the set from the other side. And again, just so that they feel the mechanics don't change. Now, if the defender's inside of us, we need to lose a little bit of ground. And again, always using some type of visual to show them where they need to get to. And this allows us to work multiple guys at one time if we've got, again, using a line or using a cone to show where they need to be. So now when the defender's inside of us, we're not going to get the outside knee down the middle of the defender. That's going to be too far to go. So now we're going to set hip to hip. We're going to lose a little bit of ground and set hip to hip. And I'm a big believer in it's okay to drop the post foot, but you can't drop that post hip. You see, we want to set hip square to the defender. Inside foot is going to need to lose a little bit of ground to get there, which is okay, as long as that hip stays closed. Because again, when I went over understanding how you set based on the scheme, based on the quarterback's launch point, the object is to keep the launch point clean. It's not about necessarily being inside out. It's about keeping the launch point clean. So let's say this is a guard, that's a 2-eye, quarterback's in here. This is the spot that needs to be clean. So it's okay to take the rusher past that spot to the other side of it, so that the quarterback has a throwing lane and we still have a pocket. So again, setting hip to hip, not necessarily worried about getting inside out on the defender, but getting him covered up. If we can stone him there, we'll stone him there. If he keeps rushing, it's okay to take him past the spot, past the launch point. After the set, we'll get into the strike. And I'm going to take you through a progression here of how we teach the strike. And it goes from hitting a stationary target to hitting a moving target. When we're talking about the strike, I tell guys we want to be a wristwatch length away from the defender. So we'll start off on the wall. We'll either put a shield on the wall or I like using med balls because to me it's a more realistic surface. And we want guys to start off their arms straight out in front of them, looking at where their wristwatch would be, or a lot of these guys wear the Apple Watches or whatever, or if you got a team slogan on your wristband like we do as well, they've got something on their wrist usually. So I have them visualize that spot, and that's about 90% extension of full arms. Whenever the defender enters that spot is when we want to strike. So here we're practicing two-hand punch. He set himself up. That's about his wristwatch length away. And again, we're trying to strike about 2 inches past that spot. So not thinking about making contact with the ball here, but making contact through the ball into that spot. So we'll work as the hands come forward. We want the head and shoulders back, the hips snapping forward a little bit, flexing the core. That's where the power of the punch comes from. The feet being rooted into the ground, the hips snapping forward a little bit. As the hands come forward, the head and shoulders going back. We'll also work independent hands. Now, we're going to strike based on the surface the defender provides us with. So we're going to track the inside edge of the defender's inside number. If that spot comes right at me, that's a bull rush. We're going to strike with 2 hands. If that spot goes straight up the field, that's a speed rush. We're going to go inside out quick. 1, 2, inside out on the punch. So again, after we've worked punches with 2 hands, we'll work combination hands. From there, we'll work to hit a moving target, and we'll add the set to it. So we can start this off just without the set, just throwing the ball at the blocker and having him strike it back. And then we'll progress to, let's take a set, feel ourselves get our knee. Again, use the visuals, using the man as the visual here. Feeling our outside knee, get down the middle of the man, and finding our timing on the med ball punch. Again, I like using the med ball as a little more realistic of a surface than a shield, and you can get into drills like this where you could throw it at the defender, at the blocker's feet, and have them strike it back. From the med balls, now we'll get into actual rushers. Somebody coming forward, again, reading the inside edge of the inside number, so we know what to get. So again, just like with a lot of your drills, when you're using guys on defense, if you're servicing yourselves with your offensive guys, you really got to coach these guys up on how you want them to rush. What type of surface do you want to show? Is it a bull rush? Is it a speed rush? Make sure that they're definitive with that inside edge of their inside number. Where does it go? Because again, if it's coming right at me, like on this clip, that's a bull rush. I'm going to take that on firm with 2 hands. If we're some type of speed rush, I'd go inside out, combo with the hands. So here we're just going to the strike. Spot comes at me, 2-hand punch. Some game clips here. Get to the end zone copy. So now watching 31 right here. A big thing about tracking the inside edge of the inside number, it prevents you from falling for the head fakes. Teach your guys where you want them looking. You want them looking again, that inside edge of the inside number. So this is 31. As we're looking at him, the inside edge of that 3. Because for him to actually go somewhere, that spot has to move. That spot has to disappear. His head could do whatever type of shakes it wants, but if that inside edge of the inside number stays there, he's not going to be able to go on an inside move. So you see 77 here, tracking the inside edge of the inside number. He's setting down the middle of the defender. Inside hand, making contact first. Again, when I say combination hands, like you saw in the med ball, there's very little delay between when those two make contact. But I'm a big believer in throwing the inside hand first on this type of rush, because I've seen a lot of sacks where the defender will come knock the outside arm down if you throw that first, and then there's nothing left there. At least now, if we get the inside arm knocked down, our body's there and our outside hand is there to catch it as well. There is a certain point where the defender's so wide that we have to throw our inside hand first. That's usually more of an arm bar type of situation. I'm watching the left tackle here. So this is a very good finesse rusher. We've got the size advantage here. So we're talking to our guys during the week about, hey, this guy's not going to want to take you on full body. Be alert to throw inside out hands. Or sometimes if you got a heavier nose guard, if you're overmatched physically, hey, expect this guy to bull rush. Be prepared for more two-hand punch. So we're always getting them ready during the week. And again, you see what makes contact here first. The inside hand, tracking the inside edge of the inside number. So that's 11's inside one here. It's going straight up the field. It's not coming at me. It's going straight up the field. That's a finesse rush. Let me throw that inside hand first. We're setting down the outside knee down the middle of them. I'm throwing the inside hand first, making good contact. So after the set, after the strike, there's going to be some type of mirror phase. And mirror drills a lot of times bother me if guys aren't doing them in relation to where they are. So we want to make sure they understand, like, this is a left side player right here. So his left knee throughout this drill wants to stay down the middle of that defender. A lot of times guys will just stay in front of the guy, covering his body up somewhat. That's not realistic. And I'm a big believer in training the feet before the hands, because a lot of guys, especially younger offensive linemen, they feel if they can get their hands on somebody, they're in good shape. But hands are fool's gold to me. You can put your hands on somebody, not move your feet, and you're going to get beat, or you're going to get a holding call. So we'll do drills like this mirror drill, outside knee, down the middle, hands behind the back, just to emphasize, okay, let's block them with our feet. I'd rather recruit somebody with no arms who has to stay in front of somebody than somebody who's going to be too grabby with their hands. So again, we want to make sure the guy in offense understands, hey, I'm going to keep my knee down the middle of this guy wherever he goes. From there, we'll add the hands, and we'll get used to keeping the hands on even when different surfaces are provided. If once contact's made, the defender might go for a rip, might go for a spin. He's going to turn his body. He's not just going to let us keep our hands on his chest. So we want to make sure we're keeping our arms extended, not getting collapsed in as this man turns and spins on us. Now, one correction here. This young man's too slappy with his hands. We like to have firm contact with the hands. Started off pretty good, and then as the drill went on, got too slappy with the hands. By that I mean that he just patterned the hands. We want solid contact with the hands, and then just reposition them as we go. After the mirror, there's going to be a recovery. And this is my term for reacting to the defender's rush. So a lot of times, first one we'll talk about is the bull. And I like practicing moves from losing positions. What I mean by that is we're not always going to be in a situation where we have our hands inside. We're not always going to be in a winning posture. We need to be able to recover from that. So here we started this drill off. Blocker's on this side. Blocker's got his hands on the rusher's shoulders, and he's high. So he's got to flop down, drop both feet into the ground like he's finishing a power clean, replace his hands, get them back inside, and then reestablish his base. So you see here, reestablish the hands, flop down, get rooted back into the ground. We'll also practice it from a really bad position where contact's been made, my hands are completely off the defender, so I've got to sever the cord. I've got to get his hands off me so I can regain my hands back inside. And then if I'm going to pull back to the quarterback, I've got to work back to reclaim some of that pocket as much as I can. Pocket's going to collapse. I got to work back to regain. So you see here, we start hands behind the back for the offender here in a high position. Defender's under us, pulling us. I got to get my feet into the ground. It might take one hop, might take 2 or 3 hops to get back in position, get his hands off me, refit my hands, and now I want to try to climb the pocket, recreate as much room as possible for the quarterback to work in. After the pull, we'll get into the pull. When we're getting pulled, I want to sit down, sit my hips down, keep my feet moving, keep pounding off at the insteps, and being stubborn, not moving. So as he's working to pull me, I'm fighting his pressure with my pressure, constant pounding to the ground. Then we'll work the bull-pull progression. So just feeling the weight of my hips transition. Always fighting it as I'm getting bowled. I'm going to fight the bull, transition the weight as I fight the pull. Using my insteps again to feel the ground, not get moved. Because he wants to get me off balance. He wants to get my torso, my shoulders to flop down or jerk back. So I got to keep a strong core, just like we talked about in stance, keep the spine to the belly button, keep the chest up, use my hips and my feet to fight this. Not to lean in, not to lean back with the upper body as much, but transition weight of my hips, transition weight of my feet to fight it. So a good example of some of this here, left guard. So 2 things we've talked about, that inside set, lose a little bit of ground, but now mirror drill, transition to work back out. Now I'm going to lose a position. So see where this started, just like where the drill started. Hands are on the shoulders, defender's lower than me, and he's got his hands inside of me. So I've got to regain. This is why, again, we practice from a losing position at times. I've got to regain my posture. I've got to place my hands back inside, get my base back, and then work to try to reclaim the pocket for the quarterback. Right? Then after set, strike, mirror, recovery, there's going to be a finish component. And I like to drill this. This is really good for a conditioner drill as well. What's unique about the offensive line, everybody can look at the ball except for us on a pass play. Everybody knows what's going on with the ball except for us. We're looking at the defender. So here, this is D, this is O. We're going to have the rabbit work his mirror drill and then eventually turn and run. Here's our finish going back here. So once he's tired of going side to side, he's going to turn and run back to the cone, because we're not going to know that the ball is thrown until the defender stops his rush, and then as their coach should do, go run to the ball. If they can run to the ball, we can run to the ball. And we have to run to the ball because this man might get in on the tackle, and we want to take as many hits off of our guys as possible, or God forbid, the ball's on the ground. We don't want him in a position where he could scoop it up, and or we want to be in a position where we could scoop it up. So just working mirror drill. Again, trying to keep that knee down the middle of the defender, working side to side. Then on his own, the rabbit will turn and run. And we'll either set up a cone, or a lot of times I'll do this starting on the hash, and we'll use the sideline. And we'll make this competitive. You know, our job is we got to tag him in this drill. If the defender gets tagged, he's got the push-ups, the up-downs, whatever. If I don't tag him, I've got him. So we'll do this in conditioning a lot as a drill and in the off season, just competitive, working pass pro fundamentals, but also, hey, ingraining in them how to finish a pass pro one. Now we're going to move on to pass pro 201, passing the twist. When we pass the twist, two things really have to happen. Number one, we have to flatten the penetrator. Every twist has a penetrator and a looper. If the penetrator is going inside, we're going to trip them. What I mean by that is we're going to take our inside knee, keep it inside of the defender's inside knee on the inside move. And this is another situation where reading the defender's inside edge, the inside number will help us. Because we'll know he's on an inside move because that spot will disappear. As he turns his shoulders, that spot will disappear as he's going inside. If the defender's going outside, if the penetrator's going outside, like on a TE stunt, we got to shuck him. The guard wants to throw him out so he can't pin the tackle's hip. So either way, whichever defender's going first, we got to flatten him out. If I have the looper, we're going to back up and go where he goes. So all game, this guy's been teeing off on me. He's been coming hard. Now all of a sudden, his pass rush, I pass that and he's soft. That's weird. I'm going to back up and then go whichever direction he goes in to help bump off the man I'm working with. So if the man with the penetrator flattens the penetrator and the looper and the man blocking the looper backs up and goes where he goes, we'll be on the same level. We'll be able to pass it off. So first thing we'll drill on this is tripping the penetrator on an inside move. So this is a right guard. There's his inside knee. We have to keep this knee inside of the defender. What I mean, so imagine if I were sticking out my leg, I'd always be in a position where I could trip him. We're not actually trying to do that, just to be clear, but just that's kind of the mental imagery of keeping that knee inside of him. So again, we're going to read the inside edge of the inside number. As that spot disappears, I'm going to push hard off the instep of the outside foot and work flat back inside. So this is how the drill should finish, with that knee inside the defender. Now I know I got him flattened out. And again, I like working a lot with hands behind the back to really emphasize the feet. Because this is one of the blocks I'm talking about, where on the inside move, a young offensive lineman will just grab on and go for the ride. One, that's going to be holding. Two, we're not going to be in the man's way. Three, if it is a twist, we're going to be in no position to help pass that off. So we will transition to where now as I trip him, I'll throw the inside arm up, put the outside hand on the hip to help flatten him. But number one is the feet before hands on these moves. Now, this is the left guard flatten the penetrator who's working outside. So this is like a T, E twist. So read the inside edge of the inside number again. We talked about it disappears. I know that it's an inside move. If it comes at me, that's a bull rush. If it goes up the field, that's a finesse rush. Here's a fourth read where now that inside edge is going wide. That's weird. Okay, so anything that's weird, I'm going to throw it out and then back up. So here's the three tech working wide. He's trying to really pin that tackle's hip. So I throw him out and then back up. Square myself back up and back up. So now here's a looper. So I set, he's not rushing. Sometimes they'll rush soft, they'll make contact with us, but it'll be soft. Sometimes they'll just dance there. Again, things that are weird, we'll back up and then go where he goes. Because he might be here and then loop that way. He might be here and loop this way. Either way, whichever, we'll back up and then go where he goes. So you see the old lineman here, hit his set, back up a little bit, and then go where he goes. Expecting something to come in. And again, we'll add hands to all this, but at first, when we're teaching it, we're going to go hands behind the back, to really emphasize the feet. So now kind of putting it all together and adding the hands, we'll go through all these different twists with the med balls. So this is like a TE stunt for a right guard. So he's going to set, throwing the ball outside, is simulating, hey, I got to throw this 3 tech who's rushing wide out and then back up so I can get the looper coming around. So flatten, shuck, flatten the penetrator on the TE, work back in as the tackle bumps to the end coming over the top. So we can do this with both guys, but we'll start off with one just so they understand the pattern of movement. So get into some game film now. This isn't a twist, but it just shows you tripping them with the inside knee. So here's 92 right here. So again, imagine if we're looking at him, the 9 will be the inside edge of the inside number. That spot's going to disappear. That spot's going to turn. I know that's an inside move. So I'm going to transition the weight of my feet. Because when I set, I'm driving off at this inside foot. Now, as he goes inside, I got to plant that foot into the ground, push off of it to come back in. Keep my knee inside of his knee. Triple him with that knee. Same thing here for the right guard. He's blocking 96. So again, it'll be the inside edge of that 9 that we're looking at. As it goes inside, keep that knee inside the defender. Watching the left side here. So this will be the TE twist that we were talking about. So for the left guard, and again, just talk to you guys about how the team rushes. Because all game, normal pass pro, this guy's coming at me, this guy's coming at me, this guy's coming at me. Now all of a sudden, that inside edge is going wide. I know that's going to be a twist. I'm going to throw it out. And talk to them about alignments that mean twists. This team right here we're playing, this alignment right here, we knew what that was about. So that can help your tackle know, hey, let me set a little bit vertically here, setting on the angle. I'm going to set vertically here because I'm expecting some type of jump to come. So just like on the drill, throw that man out. Like to see there's a little too much elbow out here. Keep the elbow tighter so we can play longer. We don't want to get turned as much here. If you feel yourself get turned, do what this man does here, which is good. Snap yourself back inside here. So inside edge, the inside number is going wide. That's weird. Throw it out. Now you see, and again, all game, this guy's rushing, this guy's rushing, this guy's rushing. Now all of a sudden, okay, kind of slow, kind of dancing off the ball. Let me back up and then go where he goes. So here's the twist on our right side between the 2-eye and the 5 technique here. So this one could be hard on the guard because he's got to set inside, thinking, oh, I got to get him cut off because I understand the launch point. I understand he could go right there. I got to get it set inside. This is why I support to lose a little bit of ground on that set so you can feel what's going on. Right? So now I'm setting to get hip to hip with this man because he's inside of me. Inside edge of the inside number is going wide. I throw it out. Flattened him so he can't pick the tackle. Tackle does a great job of my man does a rush. Back up, go where he goes, get the same level as the guard, and pass it off. Again, teach your guys what the twists look like. Right? Is there a alignment tell that the defense has? Is there a stance tell that the defense has? Because look how balanced this guy is here. You know something's up. The more you can alert your alignment to a twist, the better you'll be able to handle it. So that's what we had prepared for you guys today. want to make sure you have my contact information. Best way to get a hold of me is Twitter at CoachWhite_HU. Our head coach, who's got Southwest Ohio ties, he was defense coordinator at Cincinnati under Coach Tuberville, Coach Robert Prunty. Reach out to him as well on Twitter at CoachP_Ham. Thank you guys for tuning in. And if there's anything I can do for you, please let me know.